averages about 7.5 points a game. Mikhailuk will drive it. And Svi Mikhailuk.
Guys in April that can help your program. Finding 9, really hard.
Josh Jackson, terrific spin off.
See, I would go into Johnson and see if I could get Lucas and Bragg in foul trouble.
Jackson, nice up fake.
Tyrell Green misses. Graham runs at Jayhawks. Jackson off the shot fake down the baseline.
63-57 Baylor. We hit the 4-minute mark of the second half here in Waco. Straight up man, Lucas tried to duck in. Mason drives. Mason!
Zekru turned it over. Mikhailuk brings it up for the Jayhawks. Devontae Graham with the
finish for the senior from San Antonio.
Well, they did a good job there reversing the ball, and they got Kansas spread out a little bit so that they were able to drive it. But that's too easy.
Airport, it's a beautiful country. About 250,000 people in the North Atlantic.
3.5 gone by, 1-point lead for Davidson. Jackson.
Shook your hand before the start of the second half. You wanted a little of that love.
Hey, let me tell you this. Wainwright with that backdoor cut, great pass by Martin. That was set up by the coaching staff. That was set up. That was a set play.
Dipsy do under.
Josh Jackson to flash to the foul line. No, they showed the zone, but they went man to man.
So out of the timeout, Graham back into the hands of Jackson. It's a starting 5 back on the floor for Kansas. 7 to shoot. Mikhailuk off the bounce. Mikhailuk, tough.
Mason down the lane. The floater goes. And boy, that.
I haven't seen them do this much recently with Aldridge, Ekwu, and McGarity.
He was very complimentary of his team. Despite the loss to North Carolina last week, he said he felt like the post presence and the big men played very well.
No doubt about it. They were down 3 late.
Nice try.
Really good junior year in part because Devin Thomas has been so solid as the co-point guard.
After transferring from Boston College, he thinks he's going to be a very good scorer in the low post once they get to conference play.
They shoot 33s a game, but it's a misconception that they don't go inside. They like to work the ball.
Absolutely. And good teams play from inside out.
Jackson.
Doug Sherman.
Yeah, Doug Sherman, who one of my favorite guys. He did a lot of MAC games when I coached at Manhattan. Nice.
Mason.
Yes. Jackson to flash to the foul line. No, they showed the zone, but they went man to man.
So out of the timeout, Graham back into the hands of Jackson. It's a starting 5 back on the floor for Kansas. 7 to shoot. Mikhailuk off the bounce. Mikhailuk, tough look.
A lot of fans did say Hakim Warwick, though, was the one that broke their heart maybe even more than you or Ali. There's Mikhailuk in Kansas, up by 14. Jackson, playmaker. We'll get that sometime in January. Against only 84 losses, but and what's his average here? 28 wins a year or something close to that. Crazy. Vic.
Trouble for most of the second half. They're still only halfway through the second half.
And Josh Jackson, after picking up a 3rd foul early in this half, came back into the game and has played great since he's got 11 points here in the second.
It's a smart Fox. Tries to grow his bench. He's got some good young players. Edwards and Obeyde, only sophomores.
Jackson.
Sweet. Down Jackson and a finish for the senior from San Antonio.
Well, they did a good job there reversing the ball, and they got Kansas spread out a little bit so that they were able to drive it. But that's
Mason.
too easy.
3 of Purdue basketball. Well, it's a 14-point game, and based on the way Kansas is playing, you'd think Purdue has no chance, but there's lots of time left in this game. You got to get some stops, and that's
A lot of switching out top, trying to keep the ball in front.
Jackson. Plus the foul.
And when Chris Beard wanted to come home to Texas Tech, they just turned around, used that buyout money to pay UNLV off.
Jackson with the jump hook. And blocked by Jackson. Or Vic. They were both there, yeah. We'll have to maybe get the replay to who gets the credit. Vic.
Mason with Anunoby on him. They can switch just about everything. Got to drive it. Mason does.
On Kansas, which comes in number 3 in the AP poll. The number 2, number 1 seed. Look at Mason drive. Frank Mason. It's shaping up as an Oregon Duck, Kansas Jayhawk regional final. Mason to the hole. Landon Lucas, and he's got 5.
I would consider that a heat check.
Wow, Tom Izzo just came off the bench, walked out on the court, and put both his fingers to his temples and said, think out there. The thing. He's got to get it across half court within 10 seconds, but he's in no hurry. End and air to the hole.
And got it.
We conference of Big 12.
That's a tease. Just wait. All right, be patient. Let's not get rid of everything here in the first 5 minutes.
I love the way that Kansas plays. So
chased him off the three-point line, and good recognition by Mitru Long.
Mason will drive. Jackson. Yes.
you can't count him into that.
And puts it on the floor, weaves inside.
One of my favorite guys. He did a lot of MAC games when I coached at Manhattan. Nice.
Mason aggressive.
Jackson, left hand.
Are so fundamentally sound, and that's an extension of their head coach, Jim Les, who preaches and brags about that with his team.
They're doing such a great job denying the dribble penetration. That time, Jackson.
Landon Lucas wrestled the rebound away from Christian Doolittle. Dick thought about it. Mason drives it. Finish.
Kansas much more set. There's the
Texas keeps hanging around, trailing by 7. Jackson pull up from the elbow. Yes.
8 minutes in, 5-point lead for Kansas.
That's the shot Josh Jackson has to take. The confidence. He passed it up on the possession before and turned it over. He's a good enough shooter, but he has to continue to have confidence in that shot.
Dante Graham.
Just watch the spacing on the floor with this 4 out 1 in. Everybody about 15 to 18 feet apart.
Space for Mikhailuk to step back. And
Mason. Pull up. Yes.
Defensively. It's an 8-1 run for Kansas. Make it.
I tell you, Graham and Mason on a perimeter as good as any tandem you'll see. Kentucky has a great tandem. That's going to be a big game Saturday night. What a game, Kentucky and Kansas.
Oh, boy. Graham.
Kansas much more set. There's the first 3.
Some square garden up by the hash mark. And Kansas was very smart to make him make a tough shot and not foul.
Mason with a pull-up over.
No, it's one of those liver shots. And that's probably what they call it, a stinger.
Jackson bridges his end.
Oh, what a phenomenal this year. That was missing in the first couple of months, the confidence in his jump shot. He has all the other tools. Competes on both ends of the floor. Bill Self praises him for being an ultimate team guy.
This number for Kansas. He's got 9. And Michigan State, at this point in the game, 17 minutes in, has no offensive rebound. Mikhailuk. And outside is Jackson.
Jackson. Out to Jackson. From the corner. Josh Jackson. This Kansas team led by a Player of the Year candidate, maybe the front runner in Frank Mason.
Well, Frank Mason has had a tremendous season for the Jayhawks. One of the best in Kansas basketball history.
Here's his backcourt mate.
Great job of just putting his hands straight up, but he doesn't want to commit a foul. Good execution by DJ Johnson. He's become like Thomas Gibson used to be for Bruce Weber, scorer inside.
You mentioned it a moment ago, he's come in with Lucas and foul problems and done a nice job.
Nice minutes off the bench for Colby. And again, Ward, he can't be too aggressive on the defensive glass.
Graham a three.
All the different areas that he is such a valuable contributor to West Virginia basketball.
Vic looking for 2 in a row.
Nice start by Amon. They got to make some perimeter shots. They're trying to get into that trapping area. Good spacing right now by Kansas. Get them out of it.
Been very impressed with the UC Davis defense and their ability to keep the Jayhawks out of the lane.
Mason. Mikhailuk.
Not only good here, but one of the best in the country, ranked number 1.
Shaka was telling us last night, last year, when they were in this building, they had a 5-point lead at halftime. One of the assistant coaches said, Coach, they don't think they can win. He goes, what do you mean? We're up 5 at halftime. They don't want to start.
Undersized, kind of an undersized post, only 6'8", but very skilled.
And a good poise there, too. That could have been a 3-second call, but he stayed poised in the paint. Mikhailuk sets it up for Vic.
And I would go inside and play in the paint.
Mikhailuk, double team. Devontae Graham. Nuts!
Young junior college transfer who actually started his career at the Division II level. Kansas has taken control because they've shut down Davidson on the defensive end.
Half has been 24 seconds.
Now let's see if Kansas is scoring. I'm telling you, they need to make threes.
Jackson. Mikhailuk 3.
They're going to lock up the 3-ball now because they're going to be looking for that 3.
Graham for 3.
No mistake, guy. What I mean is he doesn't try to do things he's not capable of. He's smart. He doesn't turn it over, and he's a good defender. And coach trusts him out there right now.
Jackson for 3. Got it.
If they can't make some, if they can't make some threes. Now they could do it if they can get, play through Allen and Claire, but when you're trying to come back on the road against a good team, that 3-ball is really important. Especially when Kansas shoots the 3.
Nunio Mott, young junior college transfer, who actually started his career at the Division II level. Kansas has taken control because they have shut down Davidson on the defensive end.
Help, slipped it off to his teammate. I got a layup. You take pride playing defense. You're going to play for Bob Huggins. You're going to guard people.
Mason.
3-point shooter. And that's his 36th made on the season. And, people have just assumed that he's a low-post player, but he's really worked on that 3-point shot.
Purdue has put up 3. They've hit all 3 threes. And that's a
Opening possession is a turnover. Josh Jackson, one of the top freshmen in the country.
Kansas loves to run this weave to get the look at the 3.
Lawrence Wright has a 6-0 run by UC Davis. Vic at the other end.
If you're UC Davis and the fans, can the lights go out here in Tulsa right now and they stop the game? Can they just stop the game right now?
3, Josh Jackson.
Mason. Got it.
With his 12th point.
Really impressed with Moneke. He is active inside. Reggie mentioned a couple times he's undersized, but he.
Devontae Graham.
Nice. Much improved.
Mason straightaway three. Got it.
No shot blocker in the vicinity. Remember, Lucas does not want to get in foul trouble. Neither does Jackson. Thin up front.
Graham's
man, but Tillman's got to be the one that initiates that switch, getting back to Landon Lucas. Can't leave the man closest to the basket.
They up to their biggest lead of the game.
Mason.
To Michael Stevens, they're having an animated conversation. Baxter has the same mentality that Mason and Graham have.
About a 4-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Graham dribbling it down to 6. Pulls up for 3. Yes.
Some of these turnovers, you got to give Bill Self a ton of credit for going to the zone. But some of these turnovers, I would call them unforced. They're forcing the action. They're not forced to turn it over.
Shot clock inside 10. We haven't said that often tonight. Graham.
Drive after a good move by Lamar. You quickly the other way. Jackson has it. Hand is there defended. Cross court. Graham open three.
Now, the thing about Kansas is they've been rattled a little early, but they can come right back, execute their offense, and stretch this lead out again.
You can't leave Frank.
They need him to perform at their own pinch post entry. Motley, who deferred last year to Torian Prince, Rico Gathers, Lester Medford.
Nice pass. Hooks a pass inside and
By patience and poise on the road. They ran good offense and then Brown knocking down the shot. By and large, John, Kansas State has been poised.
Miss.
Well, Iowa State's got no ability to get the offensive glass, so they've got to be really efficient. Nice lob.
Jackson.
4-5 from beyond the arc. Keeping Kentucky in it. Jackson the drive. Nice dump down to Luke.
Their pressure has led to a lot of offense, creating offense off the turnover.
Jackson, nice look. Finds
Spurs in his ankle. Hasn't been able to practice much lately.
nice pass from Jackson.
You're not saying that coaches in recruiting will say one thing to get a guy on campus, Steve. You're not saying that.
Well, you know, it sounds good to a kid. Hey, listen, we play freelance. We're not.
Inside as well.
He has earned it. Under 2 minutes to go. Don't forget, Gonzaga, Arizona coming up from Los Angeles. Dave Fleming, Jay Billis standing by for that one. Jackson in the lane underneath the Lucas.
You're not saying that coaches in recruiting will say one thing to get a guy on campus, Steve. You're not saying that.
Well, you know, it sounds good to a kid. Hey, listen, we play freelance. We're not. And the big guys.
1 minute. Kansas' first trip to play at UNLV, and you know, rather than the walk-ons at the end of the game and close.
Popular in Louisville. I hung a banner for them.
Was it after that game when you got the nickname Never Nervous Purvis?
No, that's when I got the nickname, get out of here and don't come back.
You're self-deprecating, my friend, but a big part of a...
Defending. McCullough gets the deflection. Inside.
Pardon, with a big shot right there.
Well, he's a St. Louis kid, John, really athletic. I love the way he plays defense, although he just got backed up.
Those are the shots you cannot afford to miss if you're going to upset Kansas. Good cut.
Jackson.
Pretty good job defensively on that, keeping Mooring out of the lane.
Graham crosses over, finds Jackson down at the rim.
And so that was a good call. Didn't look like it live action.
Azubuike. To the cutting.
And Robert Cartwright, over the last couple of games, playing the best basketball maybe of his young Stanford career.
He came off the bench against St. Mary's.
McFlurry and the Big Mac. But he does it, or he did it when he was in high school, he told me.
Well, he got noticed. He was still the Gatorade Player of the Year. As Fico, Kansas.
Here's
for Kansas. Don't you think one of the key guys for them to be really successful has got to be Charles Bragg? Absolutely. He improved his play, and here he is.
As soon as we're done tonight here in Kansas City, Mason, the floater goes down as Oklahoma State.
Landon Lucas.
Gerald Vick, who is getting
last night, and you said to me, I think he's got the best stroke on the team.
From a mechanical standpoint, where the ball is in the pocket, the rotation, the release, all of that is the very best of any Texas player.
Jackson for 3. 11. Kansas's largest lead, 12. So we have had a roller coaster of a game. Lucas in the post. Yes. Lucas bumps with Latin. Soft.
He's got 4 assists, 7 blocks, 11 rebounds, and 9 points for the Ducks. That was as good. That was a pass that Dan Fouts would have appreciated.
Kansas has to make some threes.
The Oregon alum. Into Lucas.
Like they're asleep to start this game. There's Carlton Bragg.
And poised by Odoms to come to that jump stop.
Deep post position for Lucas.
He's got 9 of them. He's been averaging 10 here of late since mid-December. Landon Lucas.
Keeps the old guys around. I mean, all these years that he's been down there in Miami, and so many of them are still there. Little Timmy Donovan, Dr. Yes.
Oh, what a spin and finish.
You need to be a one-man fast break. And if you're Matt Painter and the Boilermakers,
it's the biggest lead. Colby is in.
Devontae Graham rotated over, but Bridges didn't even feel that contact as he went up.
It's the 5th-year senior.
For 22. Coming up on 6 minutes without a field goal for Kansas.
Oh, Adrian almost had that. It's so close. They scratched right back.
Lucas
recovery.
Deep in the post.
Is the battle of the bigs. Which one of those can get the other in foul trouble to take one of those bigs off the floor so you can open up that middle? Look, they're trying to go down to Lucas.
Graham. Mikhailuk. Landon Lucas to break the top.
A shot right across the brow of the nose.
Well, and it's not the way you want to get a third foul either.
Landon Lucas.
They're here in the round of 32. And here we go. Mason. Mikhailuk. It's Landon Lucas.
Last 4, he has 4 today. 8 minutes to go first half. Lucas, good feed from Grant.
Try to build on the 1-point lead. Kansas has missed their last 7 shots. Lucas ends that.
Has it again. You can't do that.
Lucas with the left hand.
When that was for Marquette earlier this week.
Flex action, well guarded on the out-of-bounds underneath by Kentucky.
Briscoe knocked down by Mason, keeps the dribble alive. Shot clock's down to 3. Lucas
to the midseason top 25 for the Wooden Award, along with Frank Mason. Landon Lucas.
The Wisconsin Badgers playing great basketball. Koenig and Happ and Hayes. Here it is now. Every possession is big here. Nice entry.
They had a big lead in the second half. Got lulled to sleep. Kansas State came back, and I'm sure Chris Beard is pointing that out to his team. Nose feed Mikhailuk. He's got 3 fouls. So Vic starts.
First 2. I love what the Huskers are showing early here in the first half. Just being scrappy, tough, not mailing it in, continuing to fight. But you got to play this game almost in little 4-minute segments if you're Nebraska.
Lucas in the paint.
The pace picks up. Shot clock winding down for Kansas. Landon Lucas, deep post position again.
One practice. He's like that old man at the line. It just stays on the court 5 or 6 trips.
Landon Lucas. So K-State playing tough here in the early going. Lucas, great position. Mason. So we do get an opportunity to see if he is moving the way that he normally would, as he was grimacing in notable pain.
Good, solid sophomore backcourt.
Last year, Kamal Stokes injured his knee January 30th against Ole Miss, and they went 4-8 in their final 12 games. Lucas, deep
Trophy presentation presented by Nissan. 8 o'clock Eastern tonight.
Well, you're a big football guy, Mr. Friday Night Man. Who do you got?
I had Lamar Jackson.
Tremendous execution by TCU.
All of us here at our ESPN family want to send our best wishes to our colleague Miles Simon. He's supposed to be here tonight. He's with his dad, Walt. Our prayers are with you guys. We know you're watching. Inside,
serve a 46-game win streak here at Allen Fieldhouse. Tied up at 84 apiece as we close it on 90 seconds to go.
Going high-low here, trying to get Lucas.
Yeah, they find Lucas inside.
An adjustment's going to have to be made on the ball screens.
Gerald Vick, number 2 in blue, in for the first time for Bill Self. Here's Lucas.
Strong.
Splits the double team.
Azubuike.
Will have to be the guy this year. So far, he has been.
Yeah, his confidence has continued to grow. He was pretty much out of the rotation as a sophomore.
Yeah.
Really worked on his game in the offseason. There's a nice finish.
Alex Robinson started his career at Texas A&M, transferred, and got a waiver to be eligible at the beginning of this year. And
look at
no talk on the switch on the backside by the Jayhawks.
Webster's got 9 at the Nebraska 20. Azubuike in traffic, big body, and
floor game today. Highly thought of when he signed with Stanford. Of course, he missed all last season with a forearm injury. No, but you're right about Jackson. He's going to do so many things to help you win.
Our largest lead was 11. Kansas's largest lead 12. So we have had a roller coaster of a game. Lucas in the post. Yes.
He has it again. Can't do that.
Lucas.
Weeks. His first full-time coaching job. Dana will have more on that a little bit later on. Under 7 to go. First half. The winner goes to the Sweet 16. Number 9, Michigan State. Number 1 seed, Kansas. Josh Jackson against his childhood friend.
He said, I never followed through and finished things in high school. There was a point during his redshirt season that people were telling him he should leave, that Kansas was just going to recruit better players around him, but he didn't.
Knows how to get it done come March. His Oklahoma State Cowboys, winners of 10 of their last 12, and Oklahoma State's beaten Kansas the last 3.
You wonder, Kevin, how long Tom Izzo can afford to leave Nick Ward off the bench. He's just such a factor offensively, and the Spartans really need that.
It's Jackson. He draws Bridges with the defense and step backs with the 3.
Bridges was able to recover after that missed shot with the putback.
And that was a basket in which they were desperately in need of that basket.
Lucas down low, Jackson, Bridges there.
In that game, especially in ball screen action where he was rolling to the basket, got a ton of layups, points in the paint. Jackson doing baseline from the top view.
Compete each and every day to go up against a great player like Jabari Parker. And you can see that paying off right now for Nebraska.
Feast has scored over 1,000 points in her career at Nebraska.
7-9 at Allen Fieldhouse for Coach Self. Again looking for Azubuike. He's not open. Jackson.
To come up with that ball, and Pickens batted it to Humphrey, the two Phoenix natives.
Jackson spin
for Jeffrey Carroll. Nice pass, and Lucas.
Flint, and the three of them even took a recruiting trip to Michigan State together. Obviously, Jackson going to Kansas. There was disappointment there, but the friendship has remained. Make no mistake, they'll be trash talking after this game.
Good stuff, thank you. Here comes Kansas with a couple of substitutions.
But the difficulty of the shot that he made right there is off the charts.
Carroll went under the screen, leaving.
Clean it up. Lucas sets the screen for Graham. Jackson.
But Kansas, Nebraska is a team that has the possibility of playing more up-tempo, pressuring a little bit more. And when you see they've been on attack mode in the second half, they've been much more successful.
By the Longhorns, 8 games under 500, trying to avoid their 19th loss, which would be their most in 33 years in this program. They're 5 of 7 from the field in the second half. That's a stat that has teeth to it, Bill. Here's a drive and a finish.
Hey, the 6'9" junior out of Columbus, Ohio. He can shoot the ball from the perimeter. He can score inside. At 23 at Carolina.
Left hand, Jackson.
Semester, and that three-point play has the lead down to 6.
Kansas has 4 very good shooters on the floor. So they're going to spread it.
Graham with the left hand.
Just did a nice job of staying between Adebayo and the basket. If Adebayo gets a catch with both feet in the paint, he is going up to dunk it. You make him catch it out of the paint, then he's got to make a skill move.
Isaiah Briscoe starts on Sviatoslav Mikhailuk. Josh Jackson, turnaround jumper in.
Three-point shooting over the last 17 games has been well over 40% for a big man. Not too bad.
Well, he's a big man who can do all kinds of little man things too, though, Kevin.
Here's Devontae Graham. He's huge for Kansas today.
Forward, but he's gobbled up some rebounds today.
He's got 10. Boy, Texas has gone around 5 minutes without a field goal.
Yep.
Mason found a little crease, and that's all.
The fact that this Texas franchise here, they've got 8 current guys in the NBA.
Kevin Durant, LaMarcus Aldridge, 2 of them.
Corey Joseph, DJ Augustine, Tristan.
Mason! But he's made timely plays for him, especially from the three-point line.
There, 2 freshmen. That was a McDonald's All-American. Mikhailuk with a finger.
Well, you saw Kansas try to go back inside to Lucas, but that time the weak side of the Cyclone defense really in good position to help.
Mikhailuk hits.
And again, a lot of building blocks here for Lon Kruger. Kansas has churned it up in the second half, but we've seen some glimpses of excellent play.
Terrific.
Well, it's not really quick if it goes in the basket. That's true. It's one of those no, yes.
Absolutely.
Or I should say it's not too quick if it goes in the basket.
Frank Mason.
Gibbs goes 1 for 2. That's just his first point of the second half. They've held, the Kansas defense has held the nation's #3 scorer to just 8 points so far.
Oh,
nice pass.
Yep.
It's in the paint for KU, but 6 of those came in the first 3 minutes of the game. There's a good look.
Davidson came on even stronger. Bob McKillop told him, he said, if you're going to be my point guard, I'm going to be really hard on you. And oh boy.
I will tell you this from an offensive standpoint, in my opinion, they play great defense. Bill Self, one of the absolute best offensive coaches in the country.
Mikhailuk down the baseline.
Oh, he's shooting that ball effortlessly.
Jackson for three again.
He's incidents, my friend. It's about time to grow up and be a man. He's lucky he's getting second opportunities here because he happens to be a basketball player with some skills. You got to take advantage of them and make the most of his opportunities.
Played very well here in the first half. They make it past the midway point of the half with the lead. Gerald Vick.
It's your go-to guy now.
Mikhailuk on the drive.
And the 13-time regular season champions.
Landon Lucas slips to the goal. Hold the emotions in. His dad couldn't.
Oh,
he was a puddle as he came out and stood next to Frank, next to the big frame jersey as Landon Lucas out of the double team sets up Graham. Hits
against top 5 teams this year. So
did you agree?
Your argument, it flies in the face of what you say on the NBA MVP.
Here's Josh Jackson with a 2-pointer.
On Saturday, I asked them how they felt today. They all said my body is straight, but you can already see their energy is not matching that of the Wildcats right now.
Yeah, they look like they're asleep to start this game. There's Carlton Brad.
Has averaged as many points a game over the course of a season as Frank Mason is averaging right now, under Bill Self.
Now he picks up.
Senior.
It's one thing to play zone against OU. How hard is it to play zone against Kansas?
Really hard because they know what they're doing, Bob.
Drag down the lane off. Mason for three. Fouled! Plus the...
Was able to get to the rim. Explosive. Coming off knee surgery a year ago.
Vick for two. Yes, on game against Iowa State on Saturday. Mason rattles home.
Mikhailuk did a pretty good job defensively on that, keeping Mooring out of the lane.
Graham crosses over, finds Jackson.
Fellow countryman from Nigeria, Udoka, Azubuike.
Leave for a defense. Kansas circling over their second consecutive win over a Big Ten team. Graham 3
points a game over the course of a season as Frank Mason is averaging right now, under Bill Self.
Now he picks up the
season.
Elbow jumper.
The point guard who has the jets and the speed, but to me, Winston settles this team down.
Fresh 30 for KU. Touch pass to the corner, Svi Mikhailuk. Hits! Is this finally the moment where Kansas delivers the knockout punch? The crowd's been waiting for it all night. Mikhailuk hit!
Intelligently. He's got pick.
Mason, the bounce. What a setup for Lucas. Player of the year, maybe the national player of the year. The senior. Over the plate.
Cut it to 13.
They're getting much better looks. They're not turning the ball over. A lot of that, I think, has to do with Kansas. Have lost a little bit of that edge.
Mikhailuk.
And he told Dakota Mathias, don't throw it over there. Is that what he said? That's exactly what he said. Oh, good.
Mason. Here's Vick. About 5 minutes gone here in the second half.
35-pound body of Ed Morrow Jr. to put it back in and break the scoring sheet.
Ed Morrow, the young fella from Chicago, Illinois, Simeon High School, powerhouse out there in Chicago.
Round, outlet caught by Mason. Here he goes, full steam ahead. Devontae Graham.
Transition defense is going to be so huge for Tom Izzo and this Michigan State team.
Good point. Because Kansas likes to fly. Vic a three.